One night in 1978, BMW broke into a locked Italian factory to steal back its own car. At least, that's the story. Everyone tells it differently. No one has ever shown a document. This is the legend of the BMW M1 and what actually happened. Munich, the mid-70s. BMW builds sedans, good ones, but Porsche owns the racetrack. A new racing era is coming, and BMW wants in. There's one problem. BMW has never built a mid-engined car. Not once. Jochen Neerpasch, first director of BMW Motorsport, the man who built the letter M. His last car was a lesson. The 3.0 CSL, a road car converted to race, slow to build, brutally expensive. This time he flips the order. Build the race car first, then teach it to live on the street. BMW can't do it alone, but he knows who can. Lamborghini. A company born out of spite for Ferrari. The people who put the engine behind the driver and made it art. Miura, Countach. 1976. The contract is signed. BMW sends the engine, the money, the deadline. Lamborghini builds everything else. German discipline hires Italian chaos. What could go wrong? The body comes from Giorgetto Giugiaro. A wedge. No decoration. No mercy. Drawn from the BMW Turbo, Paul Brack's concept that was never allowed to live. Behind the seats, the only part of this project that will never fail. The M88. 3.5 liters, straight six. Everything around this engine is going to collapse. Companies, contracts, careers. The engine survives it all. Understand what's on the table here. BMW has never built anything like this. Nobody in Munich has. This is BMW's first supercar. One condition hangs over everything. To go racing, BMW must build 400 road cars. 400 cars, 24 months. The clock starts the day they sign. In Sant'Agata, no one is watching the clock. What BMW didn't see at the signing table, Ferruccio Lamborghini was already gone. He sold the company and walked away in 1974. The oil crisis killed the supercar market. The new owners were drowning. BMW signed a contract with a name. The company behind the name was already bleeding out. BMW's money flows south. Cars don't flow north. A military contract collapses. Debts grow. Deadlines die quietly. Spring 1978. The count is final. BMW asked for 400 cars. Lamborghini built 7. 1978. Lamborghini is bankrupt. The Italian court takes control. The factory gates in Sant'Agata now answer to the state. And inside those gates, BMW's prototypes, BMW's engines, BMW's future, locked in someone else's bankruptcy. This is where the legend begins. The story splits here, and neither side can prove it. Version 1. BMW feared the prototypes would be seized and sold for scrap. So one night, the gates opened. The cars rolled out in the dark. By morning, they were gone. Version 2. It wasn't the court. It was the workers. A strike, tooling held hostage, and a midnight raid for molds and parts. 2 versions, same night. No documents. That's how you know it's folklore. Folklore always travels lighter, than paper. What the record actually shows is less cinematic and more brutal. BMW terminated the contract, took the project, took the losses, took everything back to Munich. Through lawyers, not lockpicks. No break-in is documented. The desperation was real either way. Now BMW has a supercar with no factory. So they build a chain. Chassis welded in Modena, fiberglass bodies from Italian specialists, assembly by Italdesign in Turin, final build at Bauer in Stuttgart, inspection in Munich. 2 countries, 5 workshops, 1 car. Every M1 crossed the Alps before it ever met its owner. The car is saved, the war is lost. While the M1 was being rescued, racing moved on. 400 cars don't exist. Homologation doesn't come. BMW finally has its weapon, and nowhere to fire it. In Munich, the reasonable move is obvious. Cut the losses, bury the project, apologize quietly. Nirpash does the opposite. If the championships won't take his car, he builds a championship around the car. Procar, identical M1s. The only variable is the driver. The plan needs Formula One stars on the grid. If they don't come, BMW is humiliated twice, first by the rulebook, then by its own pride. The format is shameless. Grand Prix weekends. The 5 fastest Formula One drivers from Friday qualifying get factory M1s for a Saturday race. The establishment pushes back. Ferrari and Renault forbid their drivers to touch the thing. The stars come anyway. Lauda, Piquet, Jones, Andretti, Fittipaldi, world champions, equal machines, no excuses. Formula One on Sunday, war on Saturday. First champion, Niki Lauda. His M1 is run by a small outfit called Project 4, managed by a young perfectionist named Ron Dennis. McLaren will belong to him. 1980, Nelson Piquet takes the crown. And then BMW kills its own creation. The series dies in 1981, sacrificed for BMW's entry into Formula One itself. The gamble worked. Once. That was enough. The road car? A different story. Launched at 100,000 marks, the production chaos pushed it to 113. Then BMW cut the price to 90, and still couldn't sell it. 399 road cars found owners, half of the plan. By every business metric, the M1 failed. And yet, the M88, the engine that never failed, went on to power the first M5. The letter on its valve cover became BMW's most valuable word. Every M car on every road descends from this failure. The deal collapsed. The letter survived. The failure became the foundation. So, the locked factory, the night, the gates. Maybe it happened. Maybe it never did. But legends don't grow on quiet ground. Something desperate happened in Sant'Agata. The paper trail ends. The car remains.